Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel, Military Video Tech. Chinese stealth fighters claim superiority when challenging US F-35 and F-22 in China Sea territory. Earlier this year, a Chinese paper claimed that its fifth-generation stealthy J-20 aircraft is superior to the US F-35, based on comments from an Air Force general following an incident in which US F-35s had close contact with the Chinese fighter over the East China Sea. The Chinese government-backed Global Times newspaper describes an incident wherein the J-20 and F-35 flew in close proximity to one another as part of routine People's Liberation Army exercises in the region. The paper quotes comments from Air Force Gen Kenneth Wilsbach, commander of U.S. Pacific Air Forces, saying the U.S. pilots were impressed with the J-20. The U.S. general's quote reportedly came from an online event broadcast on YouTube. The paper says, "We got relatively close to the J-20s along with our F-35s in the East China Sea, and we're relatively impressed with the command and control that was associated with the J-20, Wilsbach reportedly said, according to the Chinese paper. Wilsbach also reportedly said the Chinese pilots were flying the J-20s pretty well, according to the paper. However, when placed in a more complete context, Wilsbach's comments are by no means unusual, as senior Air Force and Pentagon leaders often point out the technological abilities of Chinese weapons systems as part of a vital need to ensure continued U.S. modernization. However, this by no means indicates that the Chinese fifth-generation aircraft actually outperforms or even rivals an F-35, apart from the J-20's visible external configuration and many Chinese press reports about its improved domestically built engine and fast improving performance. There may be little known information about the PLA aircraft's mission systems, computing, sensors, or weapons interfaces. Clearly, its stealth exterior would suggest it may be an F-35 and F-22 copycat in terms of its blended wing body and rounded fuselage. However, apart from its apparent stealth properties, any true margin of difference between the two aircraft would likely reside in less visible technological variables, such as sensor range and fidelity, onboard data processing, and weapons targeting precision, among other things. Should Wilsbach's comment about the J-20's command and control be accurate, that does introduce an interesting and rare window of observation into perhaps previously unknown elements of the J-20, if in fact, the Chinese aircraft appeared to maneuver with an effective command and control system that would indicate that perhaps at least some of the J-20's mission systems and computing are effective. At the same time, it seems important to point out that regardless of potentially being impressed with the J-20 and its flying, Wilsbach offered no input or comment regarding the question as to whether he thinks the Chinese fifth-generation aircraft in any way resembles the F-35. Nonetheless, China claims its fifth-generation, stealthy J-20 fighter jet is now taking yet another massive step toward war preparedness by flying in what could be referred to as full stealth mode. A report from the Chinese government-backed Global Times says the J-20 was spotted flying without a Lumberg lens, a small device used to intentionally expose a stealth aircraft to others in situations like training or non-combat flights. The Chinese J-20 certainly appears slightly larger than an F-22 or F-35 stealth jet fighter, given its dual-wing configuration, an engineering method employed to optimize airflow and achieve improved aerodynamic performance. While the wing configurations of a J-20 and an F-22 are decidedly different, the J-20 fuselage itself appears to resemble that of an F-22 with two engine exhausts and a blended, curved, or rounded main body exterior. Now that the J-20 has been flowing in full stealth capacity and modified slightly with the integration of a new engine, Some might wonder if the Chinese aircraft could achieve any kind of supercruise capability that has so far been unique to the F-22. Last year, an overhead satellite picture showed an interesting and significant view of the Chinese J-20 stealth multi-role fifth-generation fighter, offering an informative view of the top of the fuselage. The first thing that jumps out is the dual-wing configuration, meaning the aircraft has a short set of sloped horizontal wings, followed by larger structures aligning across the back end of the body. Perhaps this represents an effort to break up or smooth out the airflow passing on either side of the fuselage. Airflow at high speeds can generate heat signatures potentially vulnerable to detection from enemy air defenses. The F-35 and F-22, by contrast, have singular gradually sloped horizontal wings, a shorter protruding, yet aligned or sloped wing, followed by longer wings, might represent an attempt to improve stealth performance. The structure also includes the kind of conformal, blended wing body shape of many fifth-generation fighters, complete with rounded back-end exhaust emissions. Interestingly, the J-20 reveals a dual-engine configuration, something which mirrors an F-22 as opposed to an F-35.